Alex, I think I made a mistake.
That sounds serious. What happened?
A real one.
Welcome back to the show. Okay, Emma. You're clearly fretting about something. That was a dramatic opening. Tell me. Before we dive in, listeners, we're keeping this dialogue as natural as possible, and we're packing it with B2 phrases you can use in real life.
You know how I've been trying to branch out and get a side hustle going? The vintage posters website I launched last month?
Yes, the one you seemed so enthusiastic about. What about it?
I got an email this morning, a letter from a lawyer. I apparently used an image in my launch campaign that was copyrighted. That's a massive oversight on my part.
Seriously? How big is the fine?
They're asking for $2,000. I'm completely devastated. I should have done better research. I'm kicking myself.
Wow, let's take a deep breath. You're focusing heavily on self-blame, which is natural. But let's use the third conditional to analyze the past objectively. If you had known the image was copyrighted, what would you have done differently? Think back to that moment before you clicked publish.
Well, if I had only spent 10 more minutes checking the image source, I wouldn't have used it, and I wouldn't be facing this gigantic fine now. I was just too eager to launch.
That's the perfect structure. You're describing a condition that wasn't met in the past. If we apply that to the business setup.
All right, if I hadn't been so cheap and had hired a professional designer, they would have caught the copyright issue immediately.
Exactly. And if you had waited another week to launch.
If I had waited a week, I might have spotted the license issue. But I was trying to get ahead of the curve. I suppose my haste is what caused this.
It often is. Use a different modal this time. What could you have done?
I could have used stock photos with a more transparent licensing agreement. If I had gone with those, I could have avoided this legal mess entirely.
See? That structure lets us imagine that alternate past reality. Now, the strongest form of regret. Should have.
I should have read the licensing terms for every single element I used on the site. And I shouldn't have been so focused on the launch date. I was wallowing in the excitement and ignored the necessary legal ramifications.
Let's stop wallowing in the past. We can't dwell on the what-ifs forever. We need to get down to business and figure out how to approach the law firm.
I feel completely on the fence about what to do next. Do I pay up immediately, or do I try to fight it?
We need to negotiate. You need to call up the lawyer who signed the letter. Maybe we can talk them down from $2,000. Explain it was a genuine slip-up and that the image was taken down immediately.
Right. I have the time-stamped email I sent to my webmaster asking him to take it down.
That's crucial. We can use that evidence to back up our claim that this wasn't intentional. You need to stand up for yourself. If you just fold and pay up, they win the negotiation without effort.
You're right. So the plan is call up, offer a lower settlement, and be prepared to back up that offer with proof.
Exactly. And be prepared to shell out some money for a consultation if they don't budge. You have to follow through with the process. Once this is done, you can turn over a new leaf and make sure you never run into this kind of trouble again. That was an intense segment, but packed with useful language. We hope you got a good context lesson in using the language of regret.
Yes, now it's time to solidify those phrases.
Listeners, we're going to pass you over to the quick review segment, where you'll get a clear breakdown of all the B2 vocabulary and grammar structures we used.
Stay tuned for that deep dive, and don't forget to check the description for the practice challenge. Thanks for joining us on Everyday Insights.
Welcome to the Quick Review. Let's break down the key phrases from Emma and Alex's conversation.
First, the high-level vocabulary we used when Emma was panicking. Fretting. That means worrying excessively. Stop fretting over things you can't change. Massive oversight. A huge mistake made because you failed to notice something important. Devastated. Feeling extremely shocked or upset. Emma was devastated by the fine. Wallowing in. To indulge in negative feelings like self-pity. Ramifications, the complex or unwelcome consequences of an action. On the fence. If you're on the fence, you are completely undecided. Phrasal verbs are essential for B2. We use lots of them to discuss business and problem solving. Branch out, to expand your business or activities. Get down to business, to stop chatting and start working seriously. Talk someone down, to persuade them to agree to a lower price or demand. Shell out, pony up, to pay a large amount of money, usually unwillingly. Back up, to support a claim or statement with evidence. Turn over a new leaf, to change your behavior and start acting in a better, more responsible way. The most important grammar point today was the third conditional. Remember the structure: if plus past perfect, for example, if I had checked; then would have plus past participle, for example, I would have saved. It shows a hypothetical result for an impossible past condition. We also focused on should have plus V3 to express specific regret. Example: you should have checked the image source. The reality: you didn't check. Now it's time to test your skills. Find this question in the video description and leave your answer in the comments. Describe an opportunity you missed or a serious mistake you made last year. How would the outcome have been different? Make sure to use the third conditional, should have, plus V3, and at least 2 phrasal verbs from this review. Good luck, and we'll see you next time on Everyday Insights.